Hey guys, and welcome to another exciting week of the Fantasy Forum. I'm Jeremy here, and we're gonna have a lot to talk about this week. So I'm gonna try to make it as quick as possible. Um, if I go a little far, I'm sorry, but we got a lot to talk about. So first of all, congrats to my Indians. Oh my God, what a dominant series they had. They are playing. It's too good to be true. I'm I keep thinking, okay, like temper expectations, all that. You're a Cleveland fan, you gotta know it's gonna happen. They're gonna start. And the weird thing is, I mean, their hitting has been terrible. They haven't scored many runs in this series, but they got the job done with the pitching. And who would have thought? Um, their bullpen is one of the best I've ever seen in baseball, ever. I don't remember a bullpen being this dominant. I mean, I like to look at this. I should look at the stats and see exactly, how many runs they've been given up. Because I can't remember a single run they've given up. Andrew Miller was ended up being the MVP. What a trade that was! Wow, we definitely got the bargain on that. Could have saved our season. It really might have. And we have Michael Brantley out for the season. We have, and we also picked up Coco Crisp, which he's playing pretty big for us too. Good veteran leadership there. Uh, but yeah, I know Ramirez, Naquin. I never knew how to exactly pronounce his name. Tyler Naquin, I think. Yeah, they all. Um, Perez, of course. You're not going to expect much out of him, anyways. But yeah, those guys were. Kipnis. Kipnis had a really bad series. Um, the only guy that really hit good in the series was Lindor. And other than that, there wasn't much else offense wise. So, and Chisenhall was decent, and so was Santana, and so was Chris. But Lindor was the only one that really shined in our offense. So we have so much potential going in the World Series that we can get the offense better. And I mean, our defense is one of the best in baseball. Our base running is one of the best in baseball. Actually, might be the best in baseball. And our bullpen is the best in baseball. The starting lineup's the only thing that's suffering injuries, but hey, they're getting the job done. And anyways, I just want to say congrats, and I really, really, really am excited for the World Series. Haven't seen a World Series for the Indians in almost 20 years. Everybody remembers the whole Florida Marlins beating us in Game 7, Jose Mesa not being able to close out the game. Um, with the whole Cleveland curse going on, and we were also back in '95 um, in the World Series. I can't really remember much about it. Um, I know we played the Braves, and that was their one World Series they won after their dominant 14 straight division titles, or 13 or something like that. It was an insane amount. And they were dominant for all those years, but they only won one World Series, and that was against us. So, yeah, I'm just hoping that we can show up in the world. I want to win, of course, but if we got swept, um, or if we only showed up for one game, I would be pretty sad. If we lost in Game 6, Game 7, I wouldn't be as sad, but a Game 7 loss is always really hard to take, especially in a comeback. Um, but yeah, isn't that right, Golden State? um, but yeah, it's so sweet to see Cleveland doing so well. Well, besides football, but hey, I'll take my two favorite teams by far. Um, are the Cavs and the Indians, and if if they can shine and win the World Series, Cleveland is looking amazing. We are on top of the world right now, so it's awesome to finally see our I can't remember if anybody. I know you guys. Some of you guys are Indians fans, but I am like true Cleveland diehard fans. Yeah, maybe a little bit, but I don't know if you guys are as much as I am. So, anyways, that I can't remember when the series starts, but look for that to happen. It'll be really cool to see how we'll have basketball, football, and baseball all going on at the same time. Yeah, it'll be a busy week, be a busy couple weeks. But yeah. Anyways, I'll go into basketball. Basketball is going to be starting up next week, and we got our fantasy draft in on Sunday. It was a fun time. We did it at my old where I used to work at a place called Inner Circle in Ohio, where I'm from. It was a fun time. We had a good turnout for the basketball draft. Usually the draft for basketball isn't as good as football, but we had a pretty good turnout. That we had a slight hiccup in a couple places with the internet, and it kind of was unbeneficial for some people. Luckily, I didn't get hit with that bug until the very end. Everybody lost their internet, so we didn't get to pick the last few players, which I actually got everybody I wanted but one player, and I was able to pick them up off waivers this Tuesday, so I was fine. I pretty much basically got everybody I wanted in the draft. Nobody got taken except for there was one player that got taken that I wanted. Actually, we might say two players. The one player was Cantor. Rico took him pretty early, but he explained like he was third, so when you have that third pick, you don't get a pick all the way until like 20-some picks later. So he wanted to take Cantor then, which was a good move for him. I didn't think he'd take Cantor since he already had Jordan and Drummond, but yeah, that was his strategy. So good on you. I also wanted to get Dwight Howard, but he got taken a little bit early too. But the way they were ranked and stuff, they really weren't taken that early. They were just ranked way lower than they should have been, honestly. So I was just hoping maybe I could sneak in a pick or sneak in and get those players then. One of the surprise players I got was Klay Thompson. I did not think Klay would fall that far in the third round, but he did, and I honestly don't think he's going to have as bad of a year as people are making out to be. I think, if anything, this is going to help him a little bit. In the preseason, he's been dishing out assists like he never has before. Getting like hustle stats like steals and couple more rebounds here and there. So if anything, I think he's just going to be filling in those like counting stats for the lack of shots he's going to get. Kevin Durant, of course, is in town, and he's going to want his 25, 30 points a game. Steph Curry's going to, get his, but Klay is definitely the third scoring option on that team, and he seems to get a hot hand quite a bit, so they're going to feed him the ball when he gets the hot hand. I mean, that's just a given. He can score you 30 points in a quarter. He's proven it. So that's, I definitely wanted Klay Thompson. I did not think I'd be able to get him, and especially because the shooting guard position this year like many years, is just really weak. And with Kobe gone, and I mean, you can make a case for Devin Booker kind of filling in that void. Um, but out of all the positions, I thought by far the shooting guard position is the weakest. You can also make a case for power forward, but a lot of guys that are centers also can be power forwards, and so that you kind of can wiggle that. Um, but yeah, I was really excited to get Klay Thompson, and also I really wanted Rondo, and I didn't know where I was picking. It was going to be close, but I got him in the 4th round. So I thought I also another thing where they think Rondo is, he's never had the score to be impact, a big impact in fantasy. So with Jimmy Butler and Dwayne Wade now in Chicago, which is going to be so weird to see Dwayne Wade in a different jersey than a Heat jersey, but that was huge. That was this offseason was so crazy. It's just going to be weird. But yeah, I think Rondo is going to shine in Chicago as long as he has a good attitude, which I think he will with the veteran leadership of Dwayne Wade. I'm sure Rondo, and I mean he's just getting older, and I'm sure he just wants to be the guy. He wants to settle down and maybe not be as outspoken and all those kind of things. Plus, Jimmy Butler is pretty much got that role and as a Bulls player. So I just think Rondo's gonna do really well. The only thing I'm worried about is Sacramento. They had a million possessions. I'm sure they probably led the league in possessions. So he might not have as many opportunities as far as usage or possessions go. But with the Bulls, they seem like they're kind of young, so I think they'll run the court a lot more. And like I said, Rondo doesn't need to score to be impactful in fantasy. So we'll see. And I mean, he's passing the Jimmy Butler and Dwayne Wade, so I think he's gonna do really well. Besides that, other key players I got Giannis Antetokounmpo. I might have actually said that right. I'm not sure, but we'll just call him Giannis from now on. He's gonna be my star. Him and John Wall were my first 2 picks. I was really, really, really happy to get John Wall. He had off season knee surgery. Actually, both knees. He did knee surgery, so little bit risky. You never know with knee surgeries how that's going to work, but it was nothing serious. It was just the cleanup, whatever cartilage was kind of bothering him, but he seems like he's good to go now. He's been revving up minutes as preseason goes on, and he actually played pretty decently against the Cavs. And they're projecting him to get his regular 35 minutes per game when the season starts. So I'm really, really happy that he's going to get to do that. Yeah, he's a 2010 guy. I really focused on getting point guards that get assists. John Wall is just a beast in fantasy. He could lead in a really strong position at point guard. He's still pretty young too, so he's just getting better and better every year. Giannis, the same thing. He's still only 21. He doesn't look it though. He looks like, and with Chris Middleton gone now, and they traded Michael Carter-Williams, I'm pretty sure they're going to make him the point guard, which would be That's going to be interesting. He played amazing after the All-Star break. He had like 20 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. So he's going to be like a poor man's LeBron this year. Of course, I always want LeBron. And it was unfortunate that I got the 9th pick. I was just a couple notches below where I could have got LeBron. But, I saw Giannis there and I said, okay, just get the next best thing. He's also shooting guard eligible. And like I said, as a shooting guard, he's actually shooting guard, small forward, and power forward. So that'll be nice. I can plug him in the different spots too and won't have to worry about that. My weak point of my draft was definitely centers. Like I said, I wanted to get Kanter and Dwight later, and I thought, I was going to be able to do that, but it didn't happen. And there was other guys down there that, Greg Monroe was another guy I was looking at, but for some reason Jason Kidd, I mean, he did well off the bench last year, but for some reason Jason Kidd likes to bring him off the bench, and I guess he has a lot of upside too, and maybe I should have, made a move on him, but I got Bogut later. He's going to be in a new system with the Mavs. Of course, he's going to get used more, but you always have huge injury risk with him. And I also got Al Jefferson, which I don't know. I can't see Al Jefferson not being used more than what they're projecting him at, like 24. Only using him half a game. He's so talented on the offensive end of the ball. I mean, he's showing it in preseason. I mean, Miles Turner is pretty good too. But that's all they have. I mean, they have Lavoy Allen, who, I mean, he's okay, but he's nothing special. He's definitely not better than those two. So I'm just thinking that they're definitely gonna be a playoff team. There's no doubt about it. They have a strong starting lineup. It could be even stronger than the Cavs. I know I shouldn't say that, but their starting 5 looks really good this year. So I just think that I think they are going to play him more as the season goes on. And maybe towards the end of the season they might play him less because, he's older or whatever. But he's not actually that old. He's still only 30. I can't remember exactly how old he is, but he's not that old. And he is an offensive juggernaut. So besides that, I don't have any other centers. I put Bismack Biyombo, or I guess I drafted him when we went off. The internet went off, which I don't know how he's gonna do. He had a 19 rebound game in the preseason, but you can't really go off that for a backup. You just don't know. With Vucevic and Serge, they have one other big man that I can't think of right now. But I don't know where the minutes are going to come from for him. I mean, he might get 20 to 25 minutes a game. We'll just see how that goes. He's going to be suspended for the first game, so luckily I can put him on injury reserve and let him sit there until I want to make a move. But I'll be able to see like what Orlando's going to do that first game minutes wise, and the first game he comes back, and we'll see where to go from there. And I've almost spent 20 minutes just talking about this stuff. So I'm not going to go much into football. I actually want to do something with football. I'm probably going to do it next week. Because it's like the middle of the season next week, pretty much. And what I want to do is I want to look back at the draft. And I've done this numerous times in the previous seasons. I like to go back in the draft, and I like to look at each round and see who got the best pick in each round. So, for instance, round 1 this year, who could you make the best argument for? Julio Jones has been maybe the best wide receiver. David Johnson and Ezekiel Elliott, both of them have been dominating. And Antonio Brown, you can make an argument for him, but with Ben out now, he might not have nearly as much value. Odell Beckham finally had a good game, but before that, he wasn't living up to his third pick. Of course, with the AP getting hurt the second game. And Todd Gurley not living up to his hype. Gronk being hurt. Can't remember the lower end guys. I know Des Bryant, I think, was there. And of course, he's been hurt. So yeah, I just like to look at each round and see who got the best value. And it's always interesting to see like who gets that like guy in the 7th, 8th, 9th rounds that like you just kind of took a chance on and they thrive. And I know DeMarco Murray, he's the #1 guy in fantasy as far as running back goes. Matt Ryan is the #1, and I just picked him up off of waivers when nobody drafted Matt Ryan. Who else? Stafford. I think Stafford's #2, and Blaine picked him up off of waivers. Nobody picked him up. So it's really interesting to see. The quarterbacks are usually like that, and that's why I took Phillip Rivers in like the 9th round, because you're gonna get. It's usually always a guy like in the lower rounds that ends up being, a top 5 guy. So you're gonna Phillip Rivers is #6 right now, for example, and you're gonna get good production down there. So I don't like to waste a pick on quarterback in those first rounds. In the past, I liked Russell Wilson, but this year I realized I can get the same production in lower rounds. So yeah, that's probably gonna be like my basic main thing I want to do next week. This week I'm just gonna do my normal format of just looking at each team. I wanted to kind of do something with basketball. That's something I want to ask you guys too, really quick. Is how should I handle basketball? Should I do 2 separate videos each week? That would be even tougher with my time constraints and stuff like that. Maybe I can do one for basketball one week, one for football the next week. Maybe I can just kind of combine the 2 in a video and try to keep it short. So I'd like to bounce ideas off of you guys. You guys have given me some good suggestions so far. I know I might not have taken them to heart, but like I said, if I had more time with this, if I could actually like put more effort into doing this, and like I said, maybe in the future I can, but right now I don't want to make this like a huge project. So like I watch I don't know if anybody watches YouTube video gamers, but I like to watch Jacksepticeye. He's like a poor man's PewDiePie, but he's Irish. He's from Ireland. He makes like I said, video game videos, among other little things. He'll do like blogs and things like that. But I forgot what my point was supposed to be about that. He sometimes talks about how much he puts into his videos. He does 2 videos every day, and he's done that religiously for the past 3 or 4 years. 2 videos every day. I mean, it's basically his job. But he puts so much effort into his videos. It takes him something like 12 hours a day to do that. And it's just insane how committed he is to like his content, which is really, really good, by the way. If you want to go check him out. But yeah, I would like you guys to comment on the video. This, tell me, how should I handle the format from now on? Oh, I want to bring up the big trade too. Russell Westbrook's already traded. I don't know how. I don't know why. I mean, that trade was, when I saw it, I was like, wow. I don't know if I could pass that up either. But with Eric Bledsoe, I mean, I know he did good last year. I had him, so, and I traded him right before he got hurt. I felt so bad about that. But we all know Scott wouldn't have felt bad, so I probably shouldn't. But I should. But yeah, I'm not too sure about Eric Bledsoe this year. With Devin Booker gonna be a big player in that offense, they're saying. You have Brandon Knight, who is also really talented. So I mean, he's not gonna get the same minutes as he usually did. I don't. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe he'll, be an all-star. But yeah, the trade was DeMarcus Cousins and Eric Bledsoe for Russell Westbrook. So we all know Russell Westbrook is going to have like a historical fantasy season. Like, this is one of the first times, besides maybe LeBron a couple seasons, one of the first times you saw a guy who could average a triple-double in a season. And it's not probably going to happen, but I mean, he has a chance to come close. And it's not just like, like 10, 10, and 10. He's going to be averaging probably 30, 10, and 10. So, I mean, he's going to be putting up just monster fantasy stats. And I don't think I could have let that go. But you definitely upgraded your team with your center position in DeMarcus Cousins, because he's probably easily the best fantasy guy for center. He can also be your power forward, and then you also got. I mean, he's not nowhere near Russell Westbrook, but at least you got a point guard in return that is serviceable. So I mean, I wouldn't have gave up Russell Westbrook. There's no way. I wouldn't give up Russell Westbrook if you gave me 2 LeBrons this year. Actually, yeah, I would. That's an easy question. But I wouldn't give up Russell Westbrook for LeBron. And that's me saying that. So, I mean, that has to say a lot. Anyways, that was a big trade. Brandon just he loves to make those kind of. I was talking with him. I wasn't really talking with him. I just like kind of asked him a question. I'm like, so how are you gonna build up your team this year? Because he always seems to get those really high end players in his draft or in trades. He gives up a lot for them, like depth-wise. Like, he doesn't have any more depth, but then he'll have the top-end players. And it's interesting to see, like, how he, manipulates trades and things like that. So he's already starting off before the season even started, and it's cool to see. And he was trying to make a trade with me yesterday. I'm sure he's trying to make trades with you guys. I'm not ready to make trades yet. I like where I stand with my team, except for my center position. I'm kind of looking for another center. Pretty much Rudy Gay is on the table. If anybody wants to make a trade for Rudy Gay, I'm open to it. I don't really want to trade anybody in my top 4. That's Clay, Rondo, Giannis, and Wall. I don't really want to trade those for. So I'm not looking for a high-end center or nothing. I'm looking for a guy, a serviceable center that, but for the same value as Rudy Gay. Rudy Gay is going to get you about 20 fantasy points, 18 to 20 in that range, anywhere from 18 to 20. So I want a center in that range, you know. Somebody like maybe Greg Monroe, or Al Horford. Maybe he might be a little higher than that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know too many centers. I can't think of any more. But yeah, well, I'll, we'll see how that, that goes. I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do with that. But Rudy Gay is probably my best bet to get a decent center. Maybe even Tobias Harris if anybody's interested in him. He's also like an 18, 19 points per game guy. Besides that, I don't have much after that to give. So that's where I'm looking at right now. And please, 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 if I offer you a trade, don't assume that I don't want to go into it, but it seems like when I try to make a trade with something, like for example in football, I was trying to make a trade to get rid of Phillip Rivers, or if really need be Matt Ryan, I'm trying to get rid of one of my quarterbacks, and I'd like to keep Matt Ryan, so Phillip Rivers. And I know there's a couple teams in the league that are looking for a quarterback. So I'm trying to make trades with them. And it just doesn't. I mean, I understand, maybe I'm asking for a little too much for this or that. But then it's like, you want something totally different. You just, all of a sudden you ask for LaShawn McCoy or Emmanuel Sanders or something. And I'm like, that's not what I want to do. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking to get rid of my quarterback. That's it. I don't want to get rid of Shady. I don't, it totally sidewinds into something totally different. And I'm like, what the hell? So just remember with the trades, we need, maybe better communication would be better. Although the trade deadline is next week anyways, and so if anybody wants Phillip Rivers or Matt Ryan, I'm open to trade suggestions. I'm not asking for a lot for them, but I'm not going to give away Matt Ryan for nothing, because he is the number one fantasy quarterback, and people don't seem to put much value on him, but I certainly do. So I don't want a third string running back for Matt Ryan, is what I'm saying. I want a decent wide receiver or a decent backup running back. I can't really get a starting running back for him. But if I package two players for a running back, I don't think that's such a terrible thing. Like Matt Ryan and Golden Tate, or Phillip Rivers and Golden Tate. I think that's worth at least something, but I don't understand. So that's where we are with the trades and all that. I'm already at 34 minutes. We're just gonna take a very quick look at football here. And then maybe I'll get into basketball in the later weeks. I pretty much kind of summed up what basketball. I can't think of anything else about basketball that I can talk about right now. So we'll get into football. There we go. As you can see, this is David Johnson for the Cardinals. It's not a what do I want to call it? An animated drawing or whatever. It's just a regular picture this week, which I was kind of disappointed about. But maybe they just didn't have one or something. But yeah, there he is with his who knows who those people are. Sister, wife, girlfriend, mother, one of those. No trades this for a while, so there's nothing to talk about there. Like I said, the trade deadline is next Thursday. So you have a week to get your trades in. Like I said, quarterback. That's my main thing. I want to trade Philip Rivers, and if you give me a little bit of a better deal, Matt Ryan is there too. But I'd really like to keep Matt Ryan, but I am willing to give him up if it's a little bit of a better deal. I actually won again this past week. Surprise, surprise. So I am 2-4 now. I'm out of the basement. So I was happy, really happy to get another win. I didn't really expect it this week because, sorry, because of matchups, basically. The only really good matchup I had was LeSean McCoy, and that was dominant. He had a really, really, really amazing game, and I was really happy about that. He scored 36. But besides that, I played Philip Rivers at the last second over Matt Ryan, and that shot me in the foot. I didn't play Golden Tate, and that shot me in the foot. So I was like, yeah, I'm pretty much done. But Josh, I played Josh. His team didn't do well at all, and I benefited from that. Actually, I was the second best scorer this week. I could have easily been the best scorer if I had played Matt Ryan and Golden Tate, but I didn't. So, bye-bye, $10, whatever. I know I won't be the leading scorer for all of fantasy. That's just my luck. But anyways, Cameron Meredith was the best pickup I've made in a long time in fantasy. At least so far. He had 11 catches for 100 and some 13 yards, I believe. So he had 22 points. He didn't get a touchdown, but it was really nice to see that he's gonna get a lot of targets on that team and gonna be serviceable, maybe for the rest of fantasy. I'm not gonna play Golden Tate this week. I'm worried about Josh Norman for the Redskins, although I don't know if he's going to guard Marvin Jones or Golden Tate. I don't know how that's going to go. I want to see more than one game, basically. LeSean McCoy, all of a sudden they're saying he has a tight hamstring. He keeps hurting himself in practice, which is pissing me off. He keeps getting these injury scares. He had the knee. Like he went to the ground the last play of the first half in the Bills game last week, where he was absolutely dominating that game. He caught a pass, like a 2-yard dump off, and he went to cut, and somebody took out his leg, and he twisted his knee a little bit. It didn't look that bad, but then again, the Adrian Peterson injury didn't look bad either, and then lo and behold, which is something else I want to bring up, which I know I'm going to sound dumb here, and I'm going to explain why. I realized why after I was like ranting at my computer by myself. But I'm sitting there okay, Adrian Peterson tore his meniscus. And there was some other rumors that he did something with his PLP or PCP or whatever the hell you call that in your knee. I'm not too sure what it is, but I think it's the patellar tendon or something. But anyways, he tore his meniscus. That was it. There was nothing else structurally wrong. So they did surgery. and he's going to be out almost the entire season. Few months. Okay? And you got to think, okay, Adrian Peterson has strong-ass legs and all that, so he should be able to rehab and get better within that time limit. Ben Roethlisberger, same exact thing. Torn meniscus. They're like, oh, well, he might play in 2 weeks. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, what the hell? Like, why is it that Ben can tear his his meniscus, and he's like, oh, I'll be good to go in a couple weeks. Like, I know Ben is like the best at coming back from injuries. I do know that. But that much of a time difference, it was really bugging me. And I finally realized that, okay, he's there's different degrees, and I should have known this because I sprained my MCL back. Actually, it was pretty much 8 years ago to the date, because I remember that was on election day when Obama got elected president. That was the same exact day. So like November 8th or whatever it is. But yeah, I sprained my MCL. It was a partial tear. So it took like a month. It took a month to heal, but it was like more like 2 months when I was able to really like not feel it anymore and make cuts and all that kind of stuff. And I felt comfortable enough to play basketball or whatever. So, but it was a solid month. So I know quarterback to running back, I know it's a different skill position too. But I didn't realize like Ben just partially tore it, and I'm not too sure of the severity of Adrian Peterson's, but it must have been a little bit different because of the time difference. So I made myself feel a little better, but I was still really pissed off about it. Anyways, so yeah, I have 2 guys going tonight, Randall Cobb and Cameron Meredith. Do you guys hate Thursday night games? Because I really hate Thursday night games. I mean, it sucks for fantasy purposes, and I don't know if it's even good for like the NFL to do Thursday night game. Maybe it is. I want to know your guys' opinion on Thursday night games too. Like, comment in the box and tell me how you guys feel about that. Because I don't know. I kind of like that there's a game other than, always Sunday and I guess Monday. But I think it sucks for players because they have to come back from such a short time period to play another game. Then they have so long the next week to wait for another game. It just, I don't know. I hate it for fantasy purposes. I hate playing guys on Thursday night because if they do bad, then you're stuck with like thinking, oh, my team's going to do terrible. If they do really good, then I guess you're good, but I guess I never expect something like that. This is the basketball league really quick. There's our champion Cavaliers. Yeah! So I love how Francis put that picture up. Really quick, I named my team the Bluffington Honkers after one of my favorite TV shows of all time, Good Old Doug. And not that shitty Disney version either. No, it's the Nickelodeon version. Way, way, way better. And I know me and Scott like to reference Doug all the time, but it's such a good show. It was about a kid with he had a journal and he liked to write in his journal, and he had his normal friends, and it was believable. That's what I liked about it. It was like real life. You had the stuff where he imagined like he was like a James Bond character or a Superman character, Quail Man, Smash Adams. He was Indiana Jones sometimes. But he was, he always imagined he was these different things, and it was in the realm of his imagination. But besides that, like, he would go through normal day things, well, other than like a sponge and talking babies, which I mean is a really good show, and I guess cartoons have that like luxury. But I really like the fact that they did that with that show, and I always thought it was really cool, and it just showed how an 11-year-old deals with these kind of things like bullying and um, uh, after school sports and little things like that. Um, So, anyways, I decided to I'm starting to name my teams after cartoons, apparently. But that was one of my. That was a good episode where he becomes the kicker of the team, and he imagines like he's the best ever, but he really just did a lucky field goal when he was practicing with Skeeter in the at the football field. But anyways, so that was my team. I decided to name my team that. Um, really quick, we'll look at. They took a point off me. I had 126. I thought I saw LaShawn McCoy had one less point. They must have took something off of him. So I got 125. Like I said, I missed beating Rob by 3 points now, which is funny because I'm playing Rob this week. So the two best scores from last week. Francis got a good win. He needed to pull out a win to go back even to 500. Scott lost in the last game with Larry Fitzgerald going. Just didn't quite get up to the points he needed. So, but it was nice to see Gronk's finally back for him. That team's going to be very, very good. I know they scored only 106 points, but watch out for Scott's team. TJ just keeps winning. He beat Mr. Batch. So his team looks like he's got Odell Beckham Jr. and Mike Evans and Amari Cooper. So he has stacked wide receivers. Rob, of course, beat Rico, which was Rico's all of a sudden on a 2-game losing streak. Are his running backs good enough for him? I don't know. Spencer Ware did get him 26 points, so it was more of the wide receivers last week. And Johnny beat Blaine. David Johnson was his savior and got him 36 points in that Monday night game to beat Blaine. But yeah, those were the matchups last week. This week we're gonna see. I'm going against Rob. I don't see myself winning this game, but I'm on a winning streak, and as you saw, Rob does have. He's beatable. He's not. But he is, I think, might be the best team as of now. He's just got so much depth, and his running backs look great. And he doesn't have Ezekiel Elliott this week though, which is the one thing that I don't have any bye week players, so that might be a difference to where I can stay in the game. So I'm gonna give Rob the edge. I think his team's just better. But it won't be in a landslide. I'm saying like 10 points. Next we have Mr. Mac against Brandon. Both teams are coming off a loss. I think Brandon just lost Eddie Lacy for the season, I believe. So I'm not too sure about that one. Oh, and TJ, will you please change your name? So and now, I mean, Rob had to change his name to Fantasy is All About Luck, and then TJ has Legion of Luck, and you're both luck. And I understand that Rob did the all caps to, justify that, but I hate it. I can't stand the fact that we have two Lucks. So please, TJ, you don't have Andrew Luck on your team, so change it, please. I'm going to say Brandon wins that game. They have Mr. Mac projected a little higher, but I think, well, I got to look at the preview. What time am I at? 50. Okay. I'll be done pretty quick. I can't really judge because I don't know like exactly what bye week players. He has Jonathan Stewart, Fozzie Whitaker, and Des Bryant on bye, and he has Jason Witten on bye. Eddie Lacy is gone. Travis Benjamin might not play. Deshaun Jackson, I'm sure, is going to play. I don't know. Shoulder injury. Yeah, we'll see. Eifert's finally playing. Uh-oh. Why does he have to come back against the Browns? God. That really pisses me off. Everybody does that. You're not playing CJ Anderson this week. Interesting. I actually might have to give this to Mr. Mac now that I see that he's at full strength with these guys. I think Michael Crabtree will have a bounce back game. Doug Baldwin against Arizona, that's kind of a bad matchup, but Freeman and Jones have good matchups. Drew Brees has a decent matchup. And he's just playing incredible, like he always does. Yeah, there's not much to like about Brandon's team this week. Yeah. So I'm going to have to go with Mr. Mac, just based on what I see here. Plus, Brandon's on a 3-game. Oh, Mr. Mac won. That's right. I said they're both coming off of a loss. I'm sorry, Mr. Mac. You actually won last week. You beat Scott. That's right. Okay, so I'm going to give that edge to Mr. Mac by 15. Then we have TJ against Scott. That's going to be a good matchup. 4-2 teams. TJ has been doing well. He doesn't have a defense in yet, so we'll see what he does with that. Scott is without Cam Newton this week, but he's going with Marcus Mariota. He's been playing out of his mind for the past few weeks, and he's going against a pretty beatable Indianapolis team. He's playing Terrence West and James White. Marvin Jones should bounce back. Larry Fitz should bounce back. Gronk, of course, against Pittsburgh should do really well. He's still got his 3-headed monster going in his wide receivers, though. This is a tough call. Carson Palmer had a pretty good bounce back game. No, actually, not really. I'm gonna have to go with Scott. I think he has some good matchups with those running backs, though, even though they're backup running backs. Oh, but Jordan. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Scott here. This is a tough call. I'm gonna say this is like both 125. Like their bench players are gonna have to decide who wins. It's gonna be within 3 points, I think. So we'll go with Scott. I guess that's what I'm gonna go with. Rico against Mr. Batcho. Mr. Batch is... It's kind of weird. He's got the check mark in 6 of the categories. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6. Oh, well, I guess Tom Brady is the same as Blake Bortles. If LeGarrette Blount projected to get 10, why? I don't know. So anyways, he's projected to get 10. And Tony Brown's not going to be as good without Ben. He picked up Zach Miller and Kenny Britt, which has been doing well. Rico has Greg Olson, but he picked up Kobe Fleener. I just think Rico's team is a little bit better here. Yeah, we're going to go with Rico's team by 15. We already looked at my matchup. We got Blaine against Josh. Josh's team looks heavily favored over Blaine. Doug Martin was, I thought, supposed to come back, but now it's saying he's... Okay. Well, there's that. Yeah. So, he's going to have Christine Michael and Bobby Rainey. Uinora, Wallace, Walker, Yeldon. Yeah, I think, of course, you have A.J. Green going against Cleveland. Jordan Howard at Green Bay. That's actually a bad matchup. And you have Duke Johnson playing. That's probably not a good matchup. Aaron Rodgers got to turn around eventually, right? I think he has better matchups. I definitely will go with Josh here by at least 20 points because the matchups are just better. Team looks better. And we have Francis against Johnny. This will be an interesting matchup. Francis has a lot of questionables. Stephon Diggs doesn't look like he's going to play. Jordan Matthews has knee tendonitis. I'm pretty sure he'll play then. Forte also is something wrong with his knee, but he should play. Lamar Miller against Denver. That's actually not a bad matchup. Everybody thinks it is, but it's really not. Against Arizona, his matchups are kind of bad, actually. Except for his Kansas City guys. Actually, really bad. You're playing the Eagles D against Minnesota? I don't know about that. I will... They're both projected 113 too. Johnny, both of them don't have a bye week player. Johnny's picking up Kirk Cousins to go against Detroit. That's a good pickup by him. I think Johnny's team might have the edge here. Just Francis has such bad matchups. David Johnson against Seattle. That's kind of a bad matchup. Mark Ingram and Brandon Cooks against Kansas City. Yeah, they're both kind of bad matchups, actually. I'm going to give Johnny the edge, though. Le'Veon Bell might be the difference here, though. But you have questionables, and yeah, I'm going to go with Johnny. Slight edge, 5 points. Okay. And finally, my rankings, my power rankings. I'm definitely going to give Rob number 1. being the best scorer last week. And his team doesn't look like it's going to be slowing down anytime soon. He's doesn't really have any flaws in any aspect, except for maybe his tight end spot. That's about it. Number 2. Whew, there's a lot of 4-2 teams. All of a sudden, I'm not out of this race. I'm gonna give number 2 to Scott. Number 3 to TJ. Number 4 to Rico. Number 5 to Johnny. Yeah. I don't have too much of an explanation why. I just think Scott's team is getting healthier, and we all know Cam Newton is going to turn around. So I think Scott's team is looking pretty good. Rico's team, those running backs just keep making me wonder. So I put TJ over him with those. I mean, he has beast wide receivers. So does Rico, but his TJ's wide receivers have been playing better of late. Then Johnny, I said Johnny, number 5. We're gonna put Francis at number 6. Mr. Mack at number 7. I'm gonna put Brandon number 8. Blaine number 9. I'm gonna put myself at number 10 because I won 2 games in a row, and then Mr. Bacho number 11, and Josh at number 12. Yep, that's gonna be my rankings. Point 4. Rob is easily beating all of us. The low point guy is Blaine, but he's somehow 3-3. I will give him that. And points against, Johnny has the most points against by far, yet he's 4-2. That's kind of scary, actually. I keep thinking that every week, or seeing that every week, but I don't really reference it. And kind of the middle of the pack there. But Rico has the least points against with 614. So there you have it. There's my rankings. And I am done with you guys. But it is interesting to see how we have a lot of 4-2 teams, and we have nobody with less than everybody has, or there's nobody with less than 2 wins. Wait, I don't know how I want to say this. Less than 2 losses. There we go. Or less than 4 wins. More than 4 wins. Nobody has more than 4 wins. God. Okay, there we go. I got there. And Josh is the only one with 1 win. And everybody's pretty even right now, as far as standings go. I'm within 2 games all of a sudden. I was 4 games back 2 weeks ago. Now, moving up the ladder a little bit. Still, I mean, I kind of played a soft spot in my schedule, and now I'm going to be playing more heavy hitters, which is good that my team is better, but it's gonna be tough to get wins. I'm hoping somehow I can pull out a win here and establish myself. If I can get back to 500, then anything's possible. Anything's possible! Who can name that? I'm sure you all can. But anyways, I enjoyed seeing you guys last week. It was a lot of fun. As I said, we should do something. I'm going to be in town next Saturday, Sunday. Saturday, Sunday. I'm going to be at a concert Monday. And I'll probably be in town a couple more days, like Tuesday, Wednesday. So over the weekend and a couple more days during the week, it's like my little mini vacation that I get. So yeah, I'll be in town. I hope maybe we can get a game of basketball going. I would absolutely love that. I don't know how in shape you guys are, but I think it'd be fun to do. Even if we could just shoot around or something, I would, I wouldn't even mind doing that. Or, playing a catch with the football like we did. I would like to, do something. Or get a game of poker going. We haven't done that in ages. And that would be a lot of fun to do. So, something, or we just hang out, maybe go get a drink. Something. So, yeah, I'll keep in touch, let you guys know exactly when I get there. It should be like Saturday morning, afternoon, something like that. Yeah, other than that, I hope you guys have a good week. Go Tribe. Let's go Indians. Let's hope we can get a World Series title. Man, and that's the other thing is I don't want the Cubs to get to the World Series because they are proven to be the better team this year. So I'm scared of them. Dodgers, I'm scared of Clayton Kershaw, but besides that, I think we have a chance against the Dodgers. So I guess I want to see the Dodgers for like the purposes of winning the World Series, but it'd be really cool as like a historical standpoint and as a baseball fan in general to see the Cubs get there, because the Cubs haven't won a World Series since like 1908. So that's 108 years. 108 years they haven't won a World Series. And the Indians haven't won since like 48. So we have the two longest droughts in modern baseball as far as there might be a couple expansion teams that haven't won one yet. Maybe the Rockies, or I know the Blue Jays did, and that the Diamondbacks did, and the Marlins did. Actually, they have two. Sort of the Blue Jays. Yeah, or the Devil Rays. They might not have a World Series win. But besides, like those guys, I mean, they were made in like the 90s or the 80s. So of course they haven't won one, but we haven't won one in so long. So I'd like to see that series just because of the historical like implications, and it would be so cool, to see that series. But I really don't want that in the long run because I want the Indians to get a World Series win. If we beat the Cubs, that would be awesome. It would just like Cleveland beating the Warriors, beating the best team in baseball and coming out. Actually, that would be kind of cool too. Now I kind of want to see the Cubs, just if we can get that, that series win. Anyways, good luck to everybody next week. And like I said, comment, tell me how you want me to do basketball. As far as I know, I'm kind of just thinking I want to do like one video and do both at the same time. But I'm open. If everybody wants to see me do something else, then I would definitely probably do it the other way. So yeah, have a good week, and I will hopefully see you guys in a couple weeks. And bye for now.